Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. Oh, Chris Cheng is a buddy of ours. You know him from Top Shot's show from some years ago. Professional shooter, a guy that actually came out of the online informational world. Chris, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tom.
Yeah, I know you're listening to this and going, oh yeah, another graphic that shows a full cartridge flying through the air when you shoot it, right?
I got a great chuckle out of that one. Oh, man.
It's like, yeah, you go, oh, okay. Now, you were at, was it Google?
Yeah, so I worked at Google for 5 years, and
right.
Yeah, I was a self-taught amateur and decided to throw my hat in the ring and shoot against some of the best pros in the world, and ended up beating them against all odds.
How do you do that, to going from I've not shot before or shot very little to saying, oh, yeah, I could take on the best shots in the world?
So I think it's sort of twofold. I think the first thing is, whenever you want to accomplish something ambitious, you have to have that vision in your own mind, right, that you can accomplish this very, very tall feat. The second part then is you have to sacrifice your time and money and resources, right? And you got to go train, and that's what I did. And
don't tell me I have to work at it. Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? No one's entitled to participation trophies or any kind of accolades. You definitely gotta work at it, and a gun's like any other tool where you've got to put in tens of thousands of repetitions if you want to learn how to use and operate it safe, not just safely, but if you want to compete at some of the highest levels, you've got to get those trigger squeezes in. You've got to practice your form and the fundamentals.
And it's getting training and it's practicing. And I was talking earlier in the show, I was talking about, and you never pull a trigger without having a purpose behind it. What am I working on today? Is it trigger? Is it sights? Is it recovery? Is it recoil? But to just sit there mindlessly throw rounds downrange isn't really helping you, is it?
No. You like you said, you have to focus and you have to understand the purpose of every action. And for me, when I was training, I read a lot of blogs, a lot of books, and watched a lot of videos from other peers and colleagues who have, definitely become masters of the craft, and learning how to apply certain frameworks on top of what I'm doing. So when I'm pulling the trigger, it's more than just pulling the trigger, right? There's a whole lot going on that dials down to just where your finger, like which part of your finger are you placing on the trigger, and are you pulling that trigger flat and straight back? Because if you aren't, right, then you are increasing your chances of pulling or pushing your shot, left or right. So there's a lot of minutiae to learn and to understand. And, when I was a more novice shooter, like I think, everybody starts off as a novice, and sure, you understand, I pull the trigger, it goes boom, and it shoots a bullet. And that's sort of what I was when I was, a more novice shooter. But studying these finer points and bringing science, physics, logic, and more order to the way that I trained was a big key to my success.
It's funny you mentioned where you put your finger on the trigger, and that differs for different guns. I was at Gunside, the introduction of a new pistol, and I'm an experienced shooter, and I am shooting low and left. I'm going, I know I'm not yanking the trigger. I know I'm not yanking the trigger. And one of the instructors comes over and he said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I know I'm doing really good trigger squeezes. I know I'm not anticipating." He says, "Put your finger a 32nd of an inch more into the trigger guard and use that part of your finger." And I did that, and all the shots went right onto target. I went, holy
Amazing.
cow. Just that little, just what you said. It's like, and that's going to be different for each pistol you shoot.
Yeah, and it's different for each pistol, or, if you let some time lapse, for instance, I'm not shooting as frequently as I used to. And every time I pick up a gun, like, I am going back to those core fundamentals. And I know all the best shooters, Jerry Michalik, Bob Vogel, Taron Butler, it's all the same. It doesn't matter how young or old or new or experienced you are with any sport, really. I think every sport or activity, you got to go back to the fundamentals and establish that as your base. And then, right, you can always stack on those intermediate and advanced skills on top of that core fundamental.
One of the things that I've enjoyed is you've been able to take what you've done with shooting and then take it many steps beyond, because you are an accomplished media guy. Online world, the TV world, you did, the Top Shots and all. And now you got this new reality show. But the thing I like about it, it's an unscripted reality show. Tell us what this thing is.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be on a new show called The Go Big Show on TBS, and it is an extreme talent show in the vein of America's Got Talent, but there's no singing, there's no dancing. It's all extreme acts. And what's fascinating is, we've seen the first 2 episodes, which air on Thursdays on TBS at 9/8 Central. And all of all the competitors, it's like apples and oranges, right? We had a strongman, go up against like a cowboy, kind of like thing. And obviously I can't give too much away about my performance, but I'm going up against someone who's not doing anything remotely close to shooting guns. So it's a great show. We've got Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson, Cody Rhodes and Jennifer Nettles, who are the judges, right, and then Bert Kreischer as the host. And it's fun. It's really funny. It's also just really extreme. And, you see some of these performances and it kind of makes you sweat, like you're just watching watching these competitors do some incredibly fun and impressive acts. So the Go Big Show, what I wanted to do for my particular acts was bring educational angle, entertainment aspect, but also make it very personal. And so the guns that I'm shooting on the Go Big Show, they all have very personal meaning to me. I'll be, talking about the history and why certain guns are important. And then the targets, that I'm shooting at are a ton of fun. And I really drew a lot of inspiration from Annie Oakley and a lot of other shooters back in the day where, they would travel the country. And
the old exhibition shooters. And they would have crowds of 10,000 people come to see a shooting exhibition.
Exactly. And I think there might be a moment for us to revive that type of storytelling, because what I hope to accomplish is through my acts, it's all driven by stories, right? In the days of Annie Oakley, right, you have these incredibly fun and captivating narratives where, yes, the gun and the guns are a core part of the story, but it's also about the people, right? It's about people, the firearms, the history, the fun. And so I really want to wrap all of those different components into my Go Big Show act. So that's what we're going to be seeing. I don't know what episode I'm going to be on.
Oh, okay.
So there's 10. I think there's like 10 episodes. Episode 3 is coming up this Thursday, and again, that's on TBS at 9/8 Central.
At TBS.com, you can find out more about it here. Chris Cheng, thank you so much for being an ongoing ambassador for the shooting sports and for responsible gun owners. We really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate you and all that you do, and thanks again for having me on today.
Anytime. Look, you got a seat here anytime you want to be here, okay?
Fantastic. Thanks, Tom. Have a good Sunday.
You too. You take care. All right, 866 Talk Gun. I love the idea of showing a wide audience the positive aspects of responsible and fun and challenging shooting. It's, as you say, it's great storytelling, and then when you can weave it all together and put it together the way that Chris does, I'm looking forward to seeing this thing. 866 Talk Gun.